Alright, here we go with my look at the G.I. Joe 30th Anniversary Steel Brigade figure. So let's get started here by talking about the file card here on the back. And let's just grab this here. And there you can see the front with the artwork, which is pretty cool. And back in here we got the file card. And it says here, code name Steel Brigade, G.I. Joe Trooper. There's no name. Birthplace, various countries, grade E4 Specialist. Primary weapon is the ARB Paratrooper Combat Rifle with close quarter bayonet. And the combat gear listed as follows: ballistic helmet, tactical backpack, rocket storage backpack, rockets, bazooka rocket launcher, heavy machine gun with stand, and rotary grenade launcher. It says down here, Steel Brigade troopers are the backbone of the G.I. Joe fighting force. The grunts of the team, they are chosen for their exceptional dedication and skills. They work hard to hone their skills so that they can move up the ranks into specialized positions. They meet every challenge with determination and enthusiasm and eagerly go on missions where they can watch and learn from their superiors. So that's the little file card there. And just a rundown of his weapons. Although here it says rotary grenade launcher, I'm not too sure which one of the weapons is actually supposed to be the grenade launcher. It doesn't look like he comes with any real grenade launcher of any kind. And let's go ahead and get started here first by looking at the weapons. So he comes with a pretty good assortment of weapons. So he's got this guy here, which is the heavy machine gun with the stand or tripod. And he has another backpack here. And it's got the little shovel painted in there, and looks like his little knapsack or whatever there. So he has an extra backpack. And then he has his other little assault rifle here, which is just basically flat black in color. And I believe this is the same weapon, or one of the same weapons that came with Pursuit of Cobra Beachhead, looks like, if I'm not mistaken. And the rest of his weapons he's basically holding here. So let's kind of grab him here and just zoom in on him and just talk about those other weapons and some of the detail on him. So there he is up close, and as you can see he's got his little rocket launcher or bazooka, and the little rocket or bazooka or missile actually that's in there is removable. And he's got his other little assault rifle here. And that's the one here, what was it, the ARB or whatever it was called, with the bayonet. So you can see the bayonet right in here. And I like that it's painted silver. That's a nice little touch. And then just on the back here, again, like they mentioned, he's got his old backpack that can store the little rockets for his rocket launcher or bazooka. So that's kind of cool. Now let's kind of just look at the figure himself here. Now if you notice, and if you don't know this already, basically this guy is just a remolding and repaint of the Pursuit of Cobra Shock Trooper, I believe it was. Basically the body and everything's the same. Obviously the color scheme's different, and he has a different helmet right there. The only other thing that's really different about him obviously is the weapons, but this little strap right in here with like the little grenade on it right here, this little black rubber strap. And you could probably pop this off the guy if you really wanted to. I'm not sure if this was recycled from any other G.I. Joe figures, but I don't think it was. It might be just specific for this guy. But if you have the Cobra Shock Trooper, Pursuit of Cobra Shock Trooper, and you compare the body types and everything, it's basically the same thing. So let's just kind of pan on down here. There's his legs, got some knee pads, his boots, and of course his little stand. So that's pretty much all his accessories and weapons. And a few other things here. Like I said, this is removable, so it just comes out like that, and you can store it back in his little backpack. And this little rocket launcher here is a two-piece assembly, so let's just go ahead and take this off. And it can come apart right here like so. So try to keep some of that in mind. If you get this guy, you know, little odds and ends that could be lost. These little missiles could probably be lost easily, and this little guy here if you're not too careful. So just be aware of that. And let's take a look here at his little assault rifle up close. So there it is with the bayonet, like they mentioned. So like I was saying, Given all these weapons that he's got here, I don't believe any of these are actually a rotary grenade launcher, unless they want to consider this thing, but I think they listed this as the heavy machine gun. I was just gonna move that out of the way. So there's his machine gun there, and if you notice, it has a little slot right in here, and it looks like you could maybe pop in one of the little ammo belts from one of the other figures in there. So, you know, if you want to get a little creative there, you could do that probably. And this little tripod here does remove like so, just pegs in. I'm not too fond of this little tripod though. The little grip right here almost hits this part right here, kind of gets in the way, and if you rotate it around, then you got the same problem there with the leg here, just kind of getting in the way. I mean, you could probably do something like that, but then it looks kind of funky. I wish maybe they would have just got rid of this, because if you notice in here, it's got its own little bipod like folded up in here. And when I first got this guy out of the package, I thought it actually would be able to deploy down, but it's not. So it's just all one solid piece. So that's a little disappointing. I think they should have maybe just had a little hinge, little bipod right here. I think that would have been cooler actually than this big huge tripod. But anyways, so like I was saying again, I don't believe any one of these are really supposed to be a grenade launcher. What did they call it? The rotary grenade launcher. So yeah, unless they're considering this the grenade launcher, but I believe they called it as rocket launcher and bazooka, so why would they mention it twice? Anyways, as far as the articulation goes on this guy, it's pretty much the same as any of the Pursuit of Cobra figures, other 30th anniversary figures, modern G.I. Joe figures. I'm not really going to run through all that. I've showed that off enough, I think, at this point, and I think most people are pretty much aware of that. The only thing I will point out is he does have a little bit of extra articulation here on his wrist joints, and again, because this is basically a remolding of the Cobra Shock Trooper, it should be the same as that figure, but you could basically swivel or bend the wrist in here on this hand like so, and of course you can rotate it. And this wrist here is sort of the opposite way. It goes up and down like this, so you can kind of angle it up and down as opposed to the in and out motion of his left hand. And then the only other thing here that I forgot to mention was his helmet is removable. You can just pop it off. And unfortunately, he's kind of got the little generic ski mask. And I'm sure this head, the mold for this head has been reused a bunch of times. Looks like maybe for a beach head and also maybe Firefly. So yeah, it's a little generic. So that just pops on like so. So that's pretty much him there in a nutshell. I think he's a pretty cool looking figure. A little disappointed though that they seem to be doing on this wave here just a bunch of repaints and remolds. But I think this one works pretty well. I kind of like the color scheme, although it's a little kind of bright for someone who's in the military, a combat trooper. I think it should have been more of a olive drab green or something like that, kind of more of the traditional G.I. Joe color. But then again, G.I. Joe's kind of out there too, they all got their little specialized outfits, so it's not too bad. But like I was saying, I'm a little disappointed that it's basically just a remold or repaint, but I think it kind of makes up for it with the cool little helmet design. They did bother to give him something a little extra in here, and just his weapons and the stuff he comes with is pretty cool. So it's a cool little figure to have, especially if you want to do the army building thing. So if you see this guy out in the stores, should be out now, I'd say pick him up. It's a pretty cool figure to have. It's worth the money. Anyways, I'll wrap it up here with my look at the G.I. Joe 30th Anniversary Steel Brigade figure.